2 or 3 of them. They talked to me recently, and all of them said the same thing. All of them said that when we were doing BSc here, we never knew the importance of Maitrimilan. When we started giving these yoga classes, yoga instructions, they started giving their classes. Then they realized that bending and twisting the body isn't enough to please the customers. As yoga is going to become popular, as yoga becomes more and more popular, people will start asking for more, and you should be having something within you to give them. Now this, in the last decade, yoga just picked up in the entire world. It just started in a large scale. So as of now, people are somewhat happy just twisting and bending their body. Soon, in the coming years, it will not be sufficient. You will have to give them something more. Just asking them to bend their body, your customers who will come to your yoga class, will not be happy just with that. They will ask for something more. Especially if you go abroad, they will ask for something from Bhagavad Gita, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Then you will see, oh, I had that subject, but I don't know anything now. I'm not telling my own stories. This is 3-4 students told me this. That is, has happened with them. They have completed their BSc. They have studied Bhagavad Gita. They have studied Yoga Sutras as part of their course. But when someone asks them something, what is this, what is that, they don't know what to say. Because they have learned it for passing an exam. They have not learned it for their sake. So now, those people who are passed out of here, now they told me, now we are watching all the Maitrimilan videos, old videos, which are uploaded in the YouTube. So you don't want to do the same thing. I'm saying because I see that people who are in the campus, not all of them, but many of them, don't know the value of the deeper aspects of yoga. You may be just happy with asana pranayama for now, but I'm telling you, you should prepare yourself for that also. It will come in handy someday. Tell all your friends who are absent today the importance of knowing something more. Tell them that if they have to earn more money, they have to know some philosophy also after they pass out. So at least for the sake of being Artharthi, I know many of you have come to this campus to make a living out of it, to make a career out of yoga. It is fine. It is better to make a career out of yoga than make a career out of something else. It's obviously better. So if you have that intention of making a career out of yoga, you should know something more apart from asana pranayama also. Anyway, still you may not realize, you will realize only after it happens to you also. Yesterday I was talking about what? Why are there islands in this hall? Is it class-wise or some course-wise? Course-wise, okay. I thought you have some fight within you or something. So yesterday I was speaking about the word jijnasu, and I told many points. I will summarize the points. I said that curiosity, inquisitiveness, questioning is an inbuilt power in human beings. It's not that we create that power. It is an inbuilt power. Inquisitiveness is an inbuilt power. But it is not channelized in most people. It gets expressed very erratically. You ask questions about all silly things which are not necessary. You start inquiring about things which will not give you any deeper benefits, you simply ask questions for the sake of asking. So I gave several examples for that yesterday. That is one problem with the power of questioning. It will be used very frivolously. And then the second problem with this questioning is that you may ask fundamental questions, but you won't have the potency and the patience to maintain that question with you. Until you get the real answer, you will not maintain the question, you will not carry the question, because carrying a question within you is unpleasant. Having a question is always unpleasant. It is not a good feeling to have a question. And therefore, because you start feeling unpleasant to say, I don't know what it is, I don't know, you feel little about yourself, and therefore, what we mostly do is we will bring in some story and fill in that to satisfy ourselves. We will satisfy ourselves with some story about God, about yourself, about the world, something, everything. So we will bring in some stories and satisfy, and after that there is no more seeking. Once you have some stories to fill your questions, there are no more questions. You are no more a seeker. You are happy with your stories. So that is another problem, being a jnanasu, satisfying yourself with some theories. See, it is something like this. Suppose all of us are blind. We don't have the power of eyesight. All of us are blind. And all of us are fighting over a theory of light. Whether light is made up of waves, or whether light is made up of particles. We are fighting intensely with each other. Light is particles? No, light is waves. We are fighting and fighting and fighting. But all are blind. None can see light, but all are fighting over a theory of light. What use is a theory of light unless you see? Seeing light is more important than a theory of light. If you are blind, a theory of light is meaningless. So a person who has eyesight might have come up with a theory of light. Okay, fine, no problem. Now Krishna has some theory, Rama may have some theory, Buddha has some theory. Because they saw and then they documented. That is fine. But we cannot hold on to the theory and talk of that as the ultimate. It is not our theory. We are blind now. We are unable to see light. We can use the theory to get the eyesight, okay, but we cannot use the theory only to quarrel among ourselves and say this is right, this is right, this is right. Theory should not become our ultimatum. We cannot sit and argue over Advaita, Dvaita, Vishadvaita, whatever it is. If you sit and argue over it, it is as funny as blind people sitting and arguing over theory of light. First get the eyesight and then argue if you want. So the very first thing that has to happen is realization that personally I don't know anything. Brahman is somebody's word, Atman is somebody's word, Yoga is somebody's word. The final state has been described through various words. I don't know, I don't have experience of that final state at all. So our attitude should be, now I don't know anything, what should I do to experience it myself? That is our question. The question of jnanasu should be, what should I do to see it myself? The question of jnanasu should not be, or the attitude of jnanasu should not be questioning about, arguing about Brahman, whether Brahman is like that or like this. No, that is not our concern. Our concern is how to realize Brahman. After that, after you realize it, then if you want, you argue about it. After that, it is fine. It is meaningful to argue, even if you want to argue. But people say after you have realization, you will shut up, you won't argue anything, because you will be in bliss. So the only question of jnanasu should be, how should I realize it myself? That is the only concern. So that is the only question jnanasu should ask, as to what should I do. Then they will give you many paths. Several paths will be given. Follow any paths, practice diligently, and you will see it yourself, you will realize it yourself. So this is what a jnanasu is supposed to do. Jnanasu is not supposed to use the final statements and argue over them. I usually give example for this. In your mathematics exam in high school, when you had mathematics examinations. In those mathematics examinations, there will be certain questions. Question will be like this. Prove that x square plus y square plus xyz square root something is equal to 0. They will ask you, they will give a big equation, then is equal to 0. Then they will ask you, prove that this is true. Prove that this is equal to 0. Now, if you write in the exam, just yesterday in the classroom my teacher derived this. I have complete faith on my teacher, therefore this is equal to 0. What will happen? You will get 0. No matter how many have derived it, no matter how many have derived it before you, you should derive it again. Yoga is for personal derivation, it is not for arguing over somebody else's derivation. You are again supposed to derive the same thing, no matter how many have derived it. You should derive it again. It is a subjective process. You cannot say, my friend just derived it, therefore it is 0. No, you won't get marks for it. You have to realize it again. Their realization is theirs, your realization is yours. So when they are realized and someone realizes the truth, they may utter something, like Krishna uttered something, they will utter something. It is all pervasive, it is all inclusive, they will make lofty statements. But you don't take those statements and argue over it. They are not our statements. Our concern should be, how should I realize that state? How is it that he is making such lofty statements? We should not simply pick their statements and argue over it. That is meaningless. We cannot take the final equation and say somebody else derived it, therefore it is true. No. Your main concern should be how to derive. Tell me, teach me how to derive this. This looks extremely complicated. The left-hand side of the equation looks extremely complicated. Right-hand side is 0. How can it be so? How can such a huge thing become equal to 0? It looks absurd. Mathematics, if you look at it, it looks absurd. It is such a huge thing on the left-hand side. The right-hand side 0. Everything is 0. So it looks absurd and you should ask, how is it possible? Tell me how to derive it. So our concern is the process of derivation. Our concern is not the final equation. Final equation is already known. Everyone says, God is everywhere. Fine, that is a final equation. Aham brahmasmi, okay, known, a final equation. We should not start there. If you start there, it is meaningless. You are not a jnanasu. Your derivation should end there. Our derivation should never start with Aham brahmasmi. We should even hesitate to utter the word Brahman, because it is not our word. Therefore, in the lectures, I never utter the word God, because I feel very hesitant to utter that word, because it is not in my experience. You should be straight with yourself. First, to come into the path of yoga, you should be straight with yourself. Whether you are straight with the world is a secondary thing. I know this, I don't know this. Only if you are straight with yourself, this is in my experience now, only then you can begin the journey. Okay, this is in my experience, my mind is in my experience, my body is in my experience, my intellect is in my experience. Tell me, what should I do with these things so that I can transcend them and experience something more. We should never start with God and Brahman and Atman. It will become very silly. It will become for A for Atman, B for Brahman. It will become some alphabet game. You will see very often people do this. If you go and attend some marriage functions where a lot of people gather, I see it usually. Men especially, because men run out of topics. After they discuss for some time, they'll run out of topics. Women never run out of topics. Men will run out of topics. They will discuss about cricket and politics for some time. They will run out of topics. Then they will take up Atman and Brahman. In a group discussion, in a marriage function, some 10 people are sitting. They will start discussing about Shankaracharya's Advaita philosophy, as if Atman is their neighbor. They know Atman, they know Brahman. They will speak as if it is their theory. This is a big problem. If this attitude exists, there is no further journey. Please see what I am trying to say. Once you talk of something as if you know it, there is no further progress because you are blocking it. You say you are talking as if you don't have a question anymore. You are talking as if you know what the reality is. You are talking of Brahman and Atman as if you know what it is. So although Shankaracharya spoke of it, we should study that. We should never utter it as if it is our statement. It is not our statement. It is not in our experience at all. Therefore, we should not talk of it assertively, affirmatively, as if it is in our experience. It is not. You can speak of the intellect, mind and body because those things are in our experience. Other things, whatever the law, the transcendence that they are speaking of, they are saying God is everywhere. It is not in our experience. So we should not use the statement God is everywhere to do something further. For example, what happened once here in one classroom, in prayer hall, one of the senior faculty was giving a lecture many years ago, 5 years ago or something. One of the persons in the audience, they stretched their legs towards the teacher. In this culture it is not done, meaning you don't stretch your legs towards any, if there is any photo kept or anything is happening or if a teacher is there, you don't stretch your legs towards the teacher. So the teacher said, whoever was giving the lecture, he said, you should not stretch your legs towards the teacher. No, that person, he said teacher as well as there is a photo of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa behind in prayer hall. So he said this is a worship place, the photo of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda and Sharada Ma is kept there. So please don't stretch your leg. He told to that man. Now as soon as something we tell personally to people, their ego will retort. No, that man started arguing. He said, God is everywhere, it doesn't matter where I stretch my leg. Now he doesn't realize what he is doing. God is everywhere is not his statement at all. He has read it somewhere from somebody else. He should not use that statement unless that is in his experience. God is everywhere, it is true or not is not the point. God is everywhere is not your statement. If it is not your statement, don't use it to argue further about it. Now same thing with for example, the country, we say India, 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 India. Now India is everywhere. This is India, this body is also India, everything is India. Is it in your experience? Do you feel India is everywhere? No, you feel India only when you see the flag. Only when the flag is hoisted, you feel patriotic. The rest of the times, patriotism is nowhere. But isn't India everywhere already? Is India just created when a flag is hoisted? India is everywhere. India is in the place where you throw plastic also. India is in the place where you throw your garbage also. Everywhere there is India, but do you behave like that? No, you don't, because it is not in your awareness. Even something as tangible as country, which is already everywhere, is not in your awareness always. You don't feel that India is everywhere. And therefore, in that state, you need a particular symbol, you need a flag. At least the flag you respect, at least the flag you salute. But if you really become aware, so aware, that India is everywhere, yes, everything is India, then you will be patriotic always. You don't need a flag after that. But until that point, you need a particular symbol. Same thing with God too. God is everywhere is somebody's realization. We should not use it as our statement and say, I will stretch my leg anywhere, I will keep my leg on the idol, I will keep my leg on the vigraha. No, that is nonsense. It is not in our experience. So until it comes in our experience, we should behave accordingly. You first, just like in the case of the country, you cannot see the country everywhere, you see the country in a flag. Just like that, you cannot see God everywhere, to at least see it in a very specific place first to begin with. See it in a photo, see it in a vigraha, see it in a person, whatever. So see it in a specific place and respect that first. Don't simply stretch your leg towards it, insert that and say God is everywhere. That is hypocrisy. God is everywhere is not our experience, so we should not even behave so. We should ask, how should I realize that God is everywhere? That should be our real question. Our behavior should not be as if that is true always, already. It is not true for you. Subjectively, it is not true. Therefore, we should focus more on the process of yoga, not on the ending state of yoga. So process of yoga will be many. What I just told is about Bhakti Yoga. You start with Saguna Bhakti, you keep a photo, you resonate with that, have a personality resonate with that, see some higher possibility first in a symbol, using a symbol, then you will see that it is everywhere. When your emotions become overwhelming, initially you will look at the flag and remember the country, but when your emotion, when your patriotism becomes overwhelming, you will see the country everywhere, because it is already everywhere. It is not that you will create it everywhere, it is already everywhere. So you begin with something specific. We have to necessarily begin with something specific and then expand ourselves. So this should be the attitude of Jijnasu. Jijnasu never begins with somebody else's conclusion. Jijnasu begins with the derivation and then asks how to reach that conclusion. So I am emphasizing this. Yesterday also I emphasized, today also I am emphasizing, because this is a very fundamental problem in everybody's endeavor, everybody's spiritual pursuit. This is a very fundamental problem. I have seen it with hundreds of people also, here also. Because the questions that come will come after this conclusion. They will take the conclusion of Brahman and then ask question. No, that is not the way Jijnasu works. Jijnasu works with what you know, what I don't know, decide it first. I don't know this, how should I know that? That should be the question. You should not ask, you should not develop theories based on somebody's final statement. So let us try to become proper Jijnasus. Otherwise, we will be Jijnasu, but it will be in the negative sense. It will be erratic questioning and absurd questioning. Thank you. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Nirāma